Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Damn! Bob Arum doing Kambosos worse than De La Hoya did Sadam Ali. This is crazy. So, in case you aren't aware, there was a time during the negotiations for Devin Haney and Kambosos where there were mentions of probable opponents if, Devin Haney or Kambosos were to win, but in particular, if Devin Haney was to win, all right? So there was a lot of back and forth, over the months with Devin Haney and Kambosos, Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn, Devin Haney in the media about how he was getting screwed in his deal where he had to fight, Kambosos, Lomachenko, basically before he can really go on and reach the promised land. Well, now we're seeing that Bob Arum is coming out in videos, right? Now these are his words, okay? They're calling Devin Haney the dreamer, and he's saying Devin Haney dreamed, and he brought his dream to reality. And he's also saying that during the fight this past weekend, right? Oh, Edgar Berlanga fight. During the Edgar Berlanga fight, Devin Haney and his father were sitting next to Bob. We're kind of talking about, going forward and who he'd be fighting to defend his belts. And this is where it gets interesting. And this is where, it's just foul. I think it's foul. I like Kambosos, and I just think it's horrible. But, it is what it is. Because Bob said when he gets back to Nevada or Vegas, he'll sit down and meet with Devin Haney and his dad. And Bob wouldn't talk about Devin Haney going forward with a rematch with Kambosos. He said, yep, it's an agreement on paper, but there are, and I'm paraphrasing now, there's always a workaround, okay? So what that tells me, and then he also said Devin Haney and his dad want to fight the best. So going back to Australia to fight Kambosos, we'll have to look at that. But there's always a workaround because ultimately we want to make the best fights for Devin Haney. And when he said that, I was like, damn, they're not even going to give Kambosos an opportunity. So what's going to happen is they're probably going to offer him some step-aside money, or there's going to be something. It's going to be money, okay, for Kambosos to just basically nullify the contract, get both sides to agree, put a little money in his pocket, and say, all right, forget it. We'll give you some free money without you having to come in and get your ass kicked again. Because that's what happened when him and Devin Haney fought. Devin Haney clipped him. You can say what you want. Devin Haney put on a masterclass boxing match, and it doesn't warrant a rematch. It doesn't. Kambosos, can he do something differently? I believe he can come in there and let his hands go more, give himself more of a chance to just give himself more of a chance. I'll leave it at that, okay? Because to me, he found a way to lose in that fight, and he lost his right to complain. But going forward, Bob Arum wants Devin Haney to fight. Now, to be honest with you, Devin Haney also wants to fight too. It's with Lomachenko. Now, this is the thing with Lomachenko, right? Okay? I like Lomachenko, I really do. Lomo held the unified WBA, WBC, WBO, and the Ring Magazine lightweight titles from 2018 to 2020. Okay? So Lomo didn't just fight one person and get handed a bunch of belts. He had to fight individually to get those belts, okay? We know Lomo is the real deal. We do. Lomo is the real deal, man. We know he lost his throne, unfortunately, man, to the hard hitter, Teofimo Lopez. And it is what it is, man. And Teofimo went on and lost him to Kambosos. But people, from what I'm gathering, and Lomo is amazing to watch in the ring. But people aren't giving Devin Haney a chance to win the fight against Lomachenko. And I'm saying, how can you not give Devin Haney a chance against Lomachenko? When have we seen Lomachenko? Now, the man does a lot of things wonderful. Everything wonderful. Those angles, his footwork, his hand speed. But Devin Haney's bigger, longer. Not sure who's stronger. I'm not even sure who has more pop on their punch. But I can't see Devin Haney getting in the ring against Lomachenko and all of a sudden, all of the talent right, that we've seen in every match Devin Haney's been in just go out the window. Okay? The only time we've seen Devin Haney face true adversity is when, he sat there and got a little hungry, sat in the pocket, got a little hungry, and he got fed a hard-ass combination by Jorge Linares. And this is the thing, right? Jorge Linares didn't catch Devin Haney with a pop shot. He threw off, I think it was a five-punch combination and ended with the right hand. So I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it was the right hand, left hook. I think right hand, left hook. Then he ended with that right hand. But they were straight, hard shots. That combination Linares let go was crazy. He set his feet, and he established his center of gravity and let those shots fly. And Devin Haney got caught with the last one. So what that tells me is, for Devin Haney, if you're going to fight him and to give yourself the best chance on hurting him, can't expect to do it with pop shot. Now, Lomachenko throws combinations, but I'm not sure he has the reach and he has the ability to get in the pocket and stay in the pocket and let off combinations like that. Now, he can get in and throw shots from angles and he can't catch Devin, but then you got to run into the issue of Devin Haney letting his hands go too. Devin Haney is a great defensive fighter as well and offensive fighter. So I think stylistically it makes for a really good fight. But unless Lomachenko can rattle off 5 to 7 punch combinations and hold his ground, establish his center of gravity, and let hard shots go, I don't see him really having a chance. Now, the bigger fighters like a Jojo Diaz, who's more of an inside fighter who can rough Devin Haney up and he got the physicality aspect of it and can start to bang him as he backs him up in the ropes and stuff like that in the later rounds. A guy like Jojo Diaz can do it. A guy like Rolly Romero can do it. But a guy like Lomachenko, I'm not sure that that advantage is with him. I would say, if anything, that advantage isn't with neither opponent. But a guy like Rolly Romero, the advantage would definitely be with him. I would give Rolly Romero a better chance at beating Devin Haney than a lot of these other fighters, just because of stylistically the matchup and the physicality of Rolly Romero. So for people to just sit here, man, and not give Devin Haney a chance at Lomachenko, I get it. We know what Lomachenko did with Richard Comey. We know what he did with the latter half of the fight against Teofimo Lopez. We've seen him knock people out, highlight reel knockouts. We know the left hand is special, the angles are special, the footwork is special. Everything about that man is special. Over 400 amateur fights and 2 losses. This man turned pro he turned pro at an age where these guys, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, are already champions. Okay, so basically, Lomachenko was already a pro, just fighting as an amateur. When you have over 400 fights, you're a damn pro. Okay, so him coming as a professional, and some, it's his first fight, 10th fight. Look what he did in so many fights. Bullshit, man. The man had over 400 fights. He's a damn professional. Okay, none of these guys coming in, not many. I think on one hand, these guys who are coming out of the amateur ranks have over 200 fights, over 300 fights, 400 fights. That's crazy. 2 gold medals. So we can't come in here and say, he's an amateur, he's a novice. No, the man's he was a damn professional, and he got his ass touched up a couple times since he's turned professional. But don't get me wrong, I think Lomachenko would be a very interesting matchup for Devin Haney. But then again, I don't think Lomachenko is the best at 135. I think Tank Davis is. And then you got Shakur Stevenson, if he was decided to bubble up, makes things interesting. But you just can't go against Tank Davis and his power. And I think if Devin Haney gets through Lomachenko, which I think is an obligation nobody's talking about, a contractual obligation he has to do because he's with Top Rank, they're going to try to get those belts off of Devin Haney, man. That's all this is. But I think they're realizing, okay, we have a problem here. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like cold blue. You know what I mean? Like one of those situations. That's a life or death matter here. Because Devin Haney's not going out without a fight. So that's what's going on. They're going to meet in Vegas. Bill Haney, Devin Haney, and Bob Arum try to work out a good deal to get Kambosos to step aside or just to dissolve the contract. And I had to put some money in his pocket and then they're gonna go ahead and bounce and fight Lomachenko. So I'm sure there's talks about Lomachenko coming back and getting the fight, the undisputed distinction fight with Devin Haney. But that's the latest on that. I could peel it back some more. I'm not, because I want to wait to see what actually comes out of it. But I know next week they're supposed to be sitting down and having that discussion. And that, to me, sucks for Kambosos. But at the same time, it is what it is. And they're setting Bob Arum is setting Devin Haney up. And like I said, it's worse than what Oscar De La Hoya did to Sadam Ali. The thing is this, Lomachenko is no Munguia. And Devin Haney is no Sadam Ali. And Sadam Ali was a great boxer. But he didn't know what he had walked into when he got in there with Munguia. Munguia beat that man all over the ring. Every time he touched him, he had him on Queer Street, you know? But that's not going to happen here with Devin Haney. So it's stylistically a total contrast from Sadam Ali and Munguia. I personally think it's a hard fight for both of them, but I've always seen Devin Haney rise to the occasion. I've never seen him get in the ring after the first 2-3 rounds trying to figure out what to do. He's always come in, and from the very first second of the first round, he knows what to do. The way he fights works, and I can't see it being any different. I just can't. He has an educated jab. He has a disciplined right hand. He has sound footwork, and he has an outstanding ring IQ. And Lomachenko has all the above as well. I just think it just comes back to the physicality of it, and Devin Haney and his size, his reach, and the fact that he's not going to let Lomachenko get in there and do anything tricky. He's just not going to allow that to happen. He's going to maintain his distance with the jab, keep him honest, dropping the right hand and check hook on him, and roll out. And I think Lomachenko is going to get frustrated at some point. But the thing with this, you're going to have stamina, Devin Haney, because Lomachenko, if the fight goes on, he gets stronger. And that's what I think it boils down to. So anyway, man, that being said, shout out to all the veterans. Thanks for the support. Like and subscribe. Y'all keep cool. Bob Arum trying to do my boy Devin Haney like Oscar did Sadam Ali, but it's not going to happen. But it is still a good fight. Probably one of the more competitive matchups you can make at 135. I also have Tank Davis as the top dog, and we'll see what happens here in the near future. Y'all keep cool, and as always, I'm in the breeze.